Hello, beautiful soul. My name is Amanda. Welcome back or welcome to my channel, Sacred Union Within. And today I'm so excited to share the story of the portal, the ceremony that my husband Zor and I created to open up for conscious conception. And in my mind, I imagined the ceremony, the portal, would just be the little container, the mini container of the actual ceremony. But what it ended up being was all of Friday, like midday Friday into the evening, and all day Saturday. That was the actual ceremony of opening up this portal to consciously conceive, to really preparing our minds, our body, our hearts, our soul to welcome the spirit of our baby into my womb. And so I want to share that story. And so, of course, our favorite band here in Austin, Texas, just happened to be playing the evening before we had planned to do our ceremony on our 2-year anniversary when we fell in love. And it was such divine timing because this band, they create the most beautiful concerts, sound experiences with, it's like a four person band, and there's a drummer and a keyboard and a lead vocalist on his guitar, and then our friend, she uses her voice and sound bowls. And so the first half of the experience, you're laying down and just receiving the music, and then slowly we kind of get up and we build. It's almost like an ecstatic dance, but different. And but it has a gospel flavor to it. It's very soulful music. And the first time we saw them was at one of our favorite places here in Austin called the Third Eye Meditation Lounge. And it was in an intimate room, and we laid down the whole time. The structure was a little bit different. And Zora and I had such a powerful experience. And that night was the first night that we talked about marriage. I shared vulnerably. I said, you know what I was thinking during that experience? I would love for them to play at our wedding. And he said, I was thinking about the same thing. And so it was such a special moment in our journey. And then, of course, perfect divine timing, as we were coming back from Costa Rica back into Austin, a couple of days later, they were playing after getting married. And so it felt like it was a welcome home show concert just for our love for our wedding, which was so perfect. And now, right before opening up the portal to conception, literally the night before, we got to bathe in these high frequency sounds, and it was just so beautiful. And also, the journey of our lovemaking is continuing to deepen and evolve. Before we went to the concert, we made love, and I had this experience that I've never had before, where I accessed a vision, like it felt like a psychedelic experience. And the feeling that I felt was the freest I had ever felt in my entire life, like pure, absolute freedom. Imagine a wild horse running as fast as it can in the most serene, beautiful meadow in nature. Just that level of pure freedom. It was very, very powerful. And right before that, I had accessed this feeling of power, of absolute power, right? Like I was thinking and feeling we have the power to literally create anything, our wildest dreams. And I was also playing in the quantum field, imagining birth, imagining not knowing birth any other way than blissful, like imagining that reality. Because the book that I'm reading right now, Portal, by the founder of the Free Birth Society, it's about having an orgasmic, pain-free, blissful birth, and she talks about re-scripting and going back and rewriting our whole subconscious mind, right? Our experience of reality. And so I was re-scripting all of these narratives of birth being surrounded by pain and fear and trauma and all the things, and re-scripting it as imagining an entire world where all women knew birth only as blissful and nothing else. And so that was really, really beautiful and powerful. So each lovemaking is a ceremony in itself, and it's helping us prepare for the ultimate ceremony of conception, and then the ultimate ceremony of pregnancy, and then the ultimate ceremony of birth. And so it's just so beautiful. I was talking to another sacred birth keeper and saying lovemaking is the best preparation for birth, right? Because birth is inherently a very sensual and sexual experience. And just so many blissful birth things are showing up in my reality, and I'm just welcoming them. Yes, 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 yes. I had a soul sister recently share a story where she was at a circle, a women's circle, and accessed this vision, this somatic, visceral vision of her experiencing a blissful, almost orgasmic birth as the baby was coming out. And I was like, yes, 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 because I am calling that in, right? So I'm seeing it in my outer reality, and I'm celebrating it as if it's my own. That's the key. That's one of the keys to manifestation. So much bliss and beauty and all the things. And so I wanted to share about that lovemaking vision, and then the concert, and just experiencing there was this one part in the concert where they asked, everyone in the room, which it's in this old historic church building. It's all wood floors and wood ceilings in this old historic house, but obviously there's no pews. But it just feels holy. It has this holy vibe, and the sun was setting, and there was big oak trees around the house. It felt so sacred, and all the lyrics to the songs are just so sacred and beautiful. I told Zohar, I'm like, this is our church. Like, I feel like I am in church, and I feel so connected to myself and spirit and everyone here. So I'm so grateful for that experience. And they asked everyone, so who's going through a big change right now? And everyone looks around and was like, me. And then they said, and has it been easy for anyone? And me and Zohar look at each other and raise our hands and just give each other a kiss. And we look around, and no one else had raised their hands. And that was just such a testament almost to the power of living in alignment with love and a deep connection to spirit, right? Because we are going through big changes in our lives, right? We're about to move our whole lives to a different state, and we have no idea where we're gonna end up. And obviously preparing to conceive a baby, like big changes in our life. And it's the most joyful experience of our whole journey and relationship. Like, it really just gets better and better. And so that was just such I pray ease for you. And the best way I've found ease is surrender and acceptance of whatever is happening, and finding the good and everything, the silver lining. And Zohar and I have this thing where we're constantly pushing each other in an upward spiral momentum. You know, just so much positivity, so much love, so much gratitude, right? How can we make things more easeful is bringing more gratitude, taking better care of ourselves, slowing down, spending time in nature, the basics. And so that was a funny part of the experience. And yeah, just dancing with Zohar and slow dancing and hugging, and the music was so good. So that was the opening of the ceremony, the making love, and then the concert. And then the next day I woke up before the sun was up, and I was so excited, and I went and journaled a love letter to our firstborn child, and then started to prepare for the ceremony. So I went for a run outside with my dog, and we had vegan ice cream and buckwheat waffles for breakfast, like we always do. And then I set up the space, the bedroom, and with candles and a Himalayan salt lamp and a pink soft fuzzy blanket and oracle cards, and created a little mini altar. And then we ended up doing, so the ceremony consisted of setting up the space, doing an extended breath work, 40 minutes long, then doing prayer and intention setting, and then pulling an oracle card, reading my love note, and then Zohar reading his based on values, and then exchanging our vows, and then making love to seal the ceremony. And so I want to go over each of those pieces. So I had just planned to do a short breath work, but Zohar was like, oh, maybe we should do a longer breath work. And we had time because I had a women's circle ceremony to honor the fall equinox that evening. So I'm like, okay, perfect, we have time. So we did a 40-minute breath work, which was so powerful for both of us to just really get us so centered and connected to ourselves. And then I did a beautiful opening prayer, and we set our intentions to connect to the spirit of our baby, to welcome the spirit of our baby, and to continue to create this intimacy, this deep bond, this communication with the spirit. And so that was really amazing. And then we each pulled an oracle card, and mine, I cried when I read it. It was because I have a friend, and shortly after she found out that she was pregnant, she pulled this exact same card. And so it's like, oh my God. And it's called Riding the Cosmic Wave. And it's all about saying how you're on the edge. You're about to take a leap of faith. And once you take this leap, no effort will be required. You will simply be carried by a cosmic wave of love into more and more and more love. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, that's exactly how I imagine conception and pregnancy and birth to be. This cosmic wave takes us into unimaginable places of bliss and growth and beauty and family. Like, what's better than family? You know, nothing. And then Zohar pulled a card all around contemplation, and to ask your heart's deepest, like your heart, for a deep question to really contemplate. Like, the better we can articulate and the better questions we can ask ourselves in spirit, the better answers obviously we'll get. And so he's right now contemplating his purpose, his calling, his mission, because he wants to be the best role model possible And so I love that for him so much. I know he's gonna be the most amazing father. And so that was really beautiful. We read each of our oracle cards. And then I got to read my love letter to our firstborn. And so, I read it directly to him. We intuitively sense it's a boy. And then Zohar got to go over our list of values as a family, what we value, and elaborate on each one, and how we're going to raise this child, our children, in these values and why they're so important. And that was so beautiful. And then the last thing we did was exchange our wedding vows again. And I actually hadn't read the long version of my vows since our wedding day. And Zohar felt like he was hearing them for the first time. And it was so beautiful. So beautiful. And then his wedding vows are the most beautiful, poetic expression I have ever heard. They literally rhyme, and he just channeled his vows in one sitting, and mine took like weeks to add to and edit and refine and make it perfect. And he in one setting was just like and did one editing, and so that was really special. And then we made love to seal the ceremony, and my intention is, I feel that the 11:11 portal is going to be really powerful. I'm ovulating during the 11:11 portal, and so from now until then, while this portal is open, the big intention is deepening Zohar and I's intimacy, and connecting every day with the spirit of our baby. And so getting us all on the same page, the same super high frequency, leading up to the actual conception, which I feel intuitively will be close to or around or on the 11:11 portal. And so that was that. And then I had enough time to eat our salad, and I didn't even have time to finish dinner. I had to take it with me because I was picking up 2 of my soul sisters clients and going to the sister circle, which was 25 minutes outside of the city on one of the facilitators' land. And it was so beautiful to be outside of the city. As soon as the sun went down, it really cooled off. The summer Texas cicadas were singing in the background, and there was a cool breeze, and there was maybe 40-50 women that came together and formed this big circle, and several of my soul sisters were there. So it was such, again, divine timing to have the sound concert before the ceremony, and then a sister circle honoring the changing seasons after the ceremony. I could not have prayed for a better scenario. And so I got to go bathe in feminine energy and be nourished by feminine energy and integrate and share with the one of the facilitators that I had just opened up the portal, and she said that this is such fertile ground for fertility, that in the last ceremony, because they do one for every solstice and equinox every quarter, and the last it would have been the summer solstice, a woman was calling in a baby, and at this one, the fall equinox, she was pregnant. And so I was like taking it all in, and one of my friends brought her baby, who she birthed at home, and said the baby is just the sweetest, most calm, perfect baby, which I'm like, of course, the baby is born gently into the world. They get to their sovereignty gets to stay intact. They get to be this beautiful presence onto the planet, because there's not any, trauma or anything imprinted at the time of birth. So I was soaking in the baby vibes. And there was a young girl in the circle, maybe 8 years old, and getting to see her in her little flowy dress was just so beautiful. And there was a beautiful sound healing and honoring the 4 directions, and we all created a beautiful altar. And I felt really in service in the circle. There were 2 of my sisters that I was with that I felt intuitively called to do hands-on healing, to just be an anchor, a presence of love, of light, of nourishment, and that felt so good. It feels so good to be in service to my sisters, and then just honoring the land. And I'm so grateful. And I encourage you listening. One of my sisters, it was her first ever sister circle of that caliber. And I just encourage you, if you have not attended a sister circle, to find one in your local area. I know that there's a circle somewhere in your area, or host one, an intimate circle with your friends, but do it in an intentional way where you gather and you take some deep breaths and you set an intention, and everyone gets to share and just be witnessed, and also celebrate, and so it can be so simple, but it's so nourishing. It's literally essential for women's mental, emotional, spiritual, physical health. It is essential for all levels of our health to gather with other women in an intentional way. And so if anything is off in your system, that's something that I really, really encourage. And even if nothing is off, it literally will just take your whole heart and life and love to a whole other level. One of the biggest, most helpful things along my healing journey was sister circles, was finding spaces that I felt truly safe to feel and process and release what was no longer serving me. And then also it connects us to our ancient wisdom when we do rituals and ceremonies, especially around the changing seasons, and connecting us back to the land and the earth and to our the ways of women, of wise women who have come before us. And so, yeah, that's a little update on my end. We have opened up the portal. The portal is open, and I'm very, very excited about the 1111 portal. That's when I'm sensing we will seal this portal. So we're kind of preparing and just reveling in the anticipation of this cosmic wave of love that's just gonna sweep us away. So thank you so much for listening. And if you desire feminine support along your journey, your love journey, your self-love journey, calling in a true love sacred union journey, I would absolutely love and be so honored to support you. You can reach out to me on Instagram, Sacred Union Within, and we can set up an initial consultation, and I can hear more about your story, and I'll share about how I can support you, and we can accelerate the process of loving all parts of you, creating a life that you absolutely adore, and then of course, inevitably attracting your perfect energetic match, men, or if you're also already married, so deeply in love, and want to start preparing for conception, I would love to share all the things that I have learned Okay, beautiful soul, that is it for now. Thank you for coming and being and listening. Be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself, offer yourself compassion, do something nourishing for yourself today. You are so worthy of the love that you deserve. Blessings.